course, when I put this sweater on, my hair got all staticky. Do you see this? It's Shawnee, aka Total Makeup Junkie 101, and happy 2016. Today I decided to do a different kind of favorites video. This is going to be a yearly roundup favorites, but I decided to go back and check out all of my faves and flops through the year of 2015. There were only 8 different videos. I did them through the months of January through August because starting in September, I was on that holiday review grind. So I decided to refer back to my favorites videos in the year of 2015 and go through all of my favorites and decide what truly were the standouts. What are the products that to this day I am still loving? They are still the products that I reach for, that I absolutely love. Also, what are the products that I may have loved for a month or two and I decided to mention them in my monthly favorites, but maybe they've been put off to the side and I haven't really been reaching for them towards the end of the year. And then of course I have to mention those standout flop products, the products that were either really hyped up that either I mentioned as a flop, or maybe after further testing, even though I mentioned them in a favorites video last year, maybe they actually turned into a not really worth the hype kind of a flop. So we are going to be talking about all of those products in today's video. Do keep in mind that these are not all of the products that I mentioned in all 8 of my favorites videos. If I decided to talk about each and every product, I think we'd be sitting here for like 4 hours, but I just decided to do a true roundup and just talk about those standout favorites. So I think a fun way to go through this video will be to break it up into months. So we will start off with January. Now the not worth it products, the product that I actually did mention as a flop in the month of January was the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipsticks. Do keep in mind, this is just the original formula that she did release in the beginning of 2015. The shade that I mentioned is called Carina, and still to this day, this is one of my biggest product regrets. I picked up so many of these liquid lipsticks when they first came out because everybody was hyping them through the roof and I was so incredibly disappointed. They apply streaky, they patch up, they flake, they don't last very long. They get that disgusting inner ring of crustiness. It's just gross. And this color Carina, while it is so incredibly beautiful, it was not worth the hype. Another product that I actually listed as a favorite in the month of January, but I have now sunken them down into the not worth the hype category. These are the Jeffree Star liquid lipsticks. Now I recently did a full review and lip swatch video on these. If I have any further reviews on any of the products that I mentioned, which I have reviews on a lot of the things, I will be sure to put all of those video links in the description box for you guys. So this review video will also be linked in the description box. I absolutely love the formula of these, but the problem with this product, as you guys will already know if you watch my review video, is that the packaging sucks. It leaks, it makes the product dry up, this product separates, causing more leakage. It's just horrible packaging for an amazing product. Okay, now moving up a level into the products that I remember absolutely loving, which is why I put them in my favorites video. But since that favorites video, I haven't really reached for them very much. In January, I did talk about the Kat Von D Innerstellar palette. This is an amazing palette, and I really do remember being absolutely head over heels in love with it, but ever since then, I haven't really reached for it. It kind of just went in a drawer, and this is a product that I definitely want to bring back out because I remember this being amazing. Another product that was in my January favorites, which I feel like I need to reach for more, especially during this winter time when your lips can get really dry, but you still want to have that liquid lipstick effect and stay on trend. These are the Laura Mercier Paint Wash Lip Color. colors. These are amazing, amazing liquid lipsticks, and these do not get enough hype on YouTube. The formula on these is so nice and thin and lightweight, but it still delivers tons of pigmentation, but these never fully dry down to a very, very transfer proof finish. They stay slightly kind of like a satin matte finish. I really, really like that because they don't flake, they do transfer, but they're so, so comfortable on the lips. Now talking about the products that were in my January 2015 favorites video that still to this day I reach for all the time. These little guys. This is the L'Oreal Pro Matte, what are these called? The Infallible Pro Matte Liquid Foundation, the powder, and the setting spray. I will say out of all three of these, I definitely reach for the setting spray the most. I use this every single time I apply my makeup because it really, really does help extend the life of my makeup. This would probably be one of my favorite products from the L'Oreal brand overall, and I've never really fallen head over heels in love with a L'Oreal foundation before, but these little puppies did it. Now moving on into the month of February, I have one product that I feel like was not worth the hype, and I did claim this to be one of my favorite foundations at the time. And afterwards, I haven't really reached for it very much, and I haven't really felt the need to reach for it all that much. This is my Urban Decay Naked Skin Liquid Foundation. This is a very, very old foundation on the market. It's not like a new thing. And as much as I love the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer, that is one of my all-time favorite concealers, I feel like the liquid foundation just isn't that great. I guess it's good if you're looking for a thin, buildable foundation, but I don't feel like this foundation holds up very well on my skin, and I used to use it a lot, which is why it was in that favorites video, but since then I've just found so many other foundations that I prefer, so I just don't reach for this one anymore. Now, one of the products that I mentioned as a favorite in February that I feel like I need to use more because I genuinely do love this product. This is the Urban Decay Moondust eyeshadow in the shade Solstice. This is one of the most beautiful eyeshadows you will ever look at in your entire life. Now, these Moondust shadows are unique because they're almost like a pressed glitter. They're not so much like a nice creamy eyeshadow. You definitely want to use like a glitter base or like a tacky eyeshadow base and then pat these on top. But they are stunning. And then I have quite a few favorites that I mentioned in my February favorites video, which I still reach for to this day. Firstly, the MAC Spice Lip Pencil. This is one of my all-time favorite lip liners ever. It's amazing for my skin tone. It's the best neutral nude lip liner. If you feel like Soar and Whirl aren't giving you the definition that you're looking for on your skin tone, definitely try out Spice. Another product that I mentioned in my February favorites, which still to this day is one of my go-to products. This is my Makeup Geek neutral eyeshadow palette. I kind of just mentioned the entire palette, and at the time I had it in a bigger pro palette, and now I have most of my go-to Makeup Geek shadows in this little double-sided Sephora Z palette. How cute is it? Either way, I was pretty much talking about these kinds of warm, neutral, single shadows that you can get from Makeup Geek. They are so amazing in quality. They blend beautifully, and this is just a palette that I look at and I know that I can achieve 1,000,001 different looks. There are so many different combinations, and all of them will be very, very wearable and really, really beautiful. And then another holy grail product that I mentioned in my February favorites video, which I literally use this product every single time I apply makeup. It's my Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour Palette, the face contour palette that I use all the time. As I said, I'm wearing it today. If you guys go back in many of my videos throughout the entire year of 2015 and look in the what I'm wearing description box section, you will see that 9 times out of 10, it's probably this palette. Now moving into the products that I mentioned in the month of March. This is a product that I did mention as a favorite, but ever since that video, I haven't really reached for it that much. So I would say this is not worth the hype. This is the Too Faced Cocoa Contour Palette. I do still really like this color right here as a contour on my skin, but it is much warmer than the one in the Kat Von D palette, and it's not as dark, so it doesn't give you as nice of a chiseled out contour. But I didn't really reach for any of the other 3 products in here. I was really only using it for this product, and I prefer my Kat Von D one. So I would definitely say this isn't worth the hype for me. Now for a product that I mentioned as a favorite in my March video that I haven't really reached for, but I still really love, and I need to pull it out and use it again. And these are my Bite Beauty Buttercream lipsticks. These are amazing. They are so beautiful. All of the shades that Bite Beauty released are all kind of neutral nude colors, and this formula is ultra creamy, really luxurious feeling on the lips, but I haven't really reached for them that much, and I really need to pull these out again because I love them. And then there was one lipstick formula that I mentioned in the month of March that still to this day is one of my holy grail lipstick formulas. I love it so much. The Marc Jacobs Le Marc Lip Creams. These are awesome. When Marc Jacobs reformulated their lipstick line, I was really skeptical because I really did like their original lip gel formula, but these lip creams are amazing. Marc Jacobs has so many different colors. I think he has about 30 different colors. So many to pick from, but this shade in Mahogany is so unique. It's a really true darker brown shade. Now moving into the month of April, I don't have any products that I feel like were complete flops from what I mentioned in that favorites video, but there are 2 products that I feel like I need to pull out and use some more. First off are these Cover FX Custom Cover Drops. I loved these for months, and I mentioned them in that favorites video. I used them for a couple months afterwards, but in the ending part of 2015, I pretty much stopped using them altogether, mainly because I found some liquid foundations that I just love as is, and I don't feel the need to add coverage to them. But these are awesome, especially on those very light makeup days. You can blend a couple of drops of this in with your moisturizer and just get a nice even canvas. And the other products that I mentioned in my April favorites video, which once again, I still love, but I need to pull it out and use it some more. This is my YSL Full Metal Shadow. These are the little shadows that YSL released as like the little sponge tip applicator cream shadows. These did not get very good reviews on Temptalia, and it seemed like a lot of people didn't really love them. And I don't know why, because I love these things. These are cream shadows that are very buildable. You can apply one layer for a semi-sheer effect, but you can always build them up. I've never had an issue with creasing. They blend beautifully. The final look always turns out amazing. And then for a couple of products that I mentioned in April that I still, to this day, love and use all the time. First off, my YSL Volupte Tint in Oil. This is the best thing ever. I absolutely love this, and YSL pretty much kind of revolutionized and invigorated this whole lip oil trend when they released these. The shade I have is number 5, which I believe is called like Cherry something, or Sherry My Cherry, or something like that. These smell like delicious mango candy. I freaking love the scent. And while these are incredibly comfortable and moisturizing on the lips, they're not the longest lasting lip products, but they don't leave behind a waxy layer or anything, so they fade very gracefully, and they do leave your lips with a little bit of a tint. And then the other thing that I mentioned in the month of April, which still to this day I use all the time. This is my go-to blush formula because they're amazing. The Clinique Cheek Pop blushes. Clinique expanded their line of this Cheek Pop blush formula this year, and they released like 8 new shades or like 6 new shades or something, and I bought them all because I'm addicted to them and I love them. This is one of my favorites. This is the darkest shade that they released. It's called Cola Pop, and yes, it looks really, really dark, but these are so blendable and creamy, and they're slightly pigmented, but they're not too pigmented, which is something that you would want in a blush because you don't want to end up looking like clown cheeks. Jumping into my May faves and flops, there is one product that I talked about as a favorite in that video that I don't really reach for very much anymore, and to be honest, I'm not that crazy about the formula anymore. This is the NARS All Day Luminous Liquid Foundation. This is one of those foundations that was so hyped up when it initially came out, and I really did love it. I thought it was a really, really good foundation, but the more I used it, the more I realized that it's not that great because it doesn't really hold up on my skin very well. I have very, very oily skin, and it just kind of looks a little cakey. While I don't have any products that I mentioned in the month of May that I feel like need to be rediscovered, I do have a couple of products that I think these are literally some of my all-time favorite, most holy grail makeup products. These products are right up there with the Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour Palette. First off, of course, things have to fly across the room. Okay, let's put that back together. First off, we have the Eyeshadow False Lashes. This is the first year that I have tried Eyeshadow lashes, and I'm telling you, I will never go back to using any other lash, especially when I'm looking for a very, very natural pair of lashes that still gives you the oomph. That was kind of weird. It still gives you the dramatic feeling that a false lash can give you, but they're so comfortable on your eye. My favorite style is actually the style I'm wearing on my eyes today. Had I remembered that I was going to be talking about these today, I probably wouldn't have put them on, but I guess it's better if you guys see them on my eyeball, right? So I'll go ahead and zoom you guys in. So I don't know if you guys can tell, but this is the unforgettable style of false lashes from Eyeshadow. These are my favorite by far. If you're gonna try out any Eyeshadow false lashes, check out the Unforgettables. And of course, with every pair of false lashes, you need that winning lash glue. And while I do love the Eyeshadow Companion Lash Bond glue that Eyeshadow sells, it really is an amazing glue. But just inching into first place, just by a little bit, is my House of Lashes eyelash adhesive. This thing is the best. It's super, 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 super sticky. I mean, you can get your lashes to last 17 days plus showers, baths, pool time, everything with this glue. I would practically call this super glue for your lashes, but it's not that harsh, but it practically is. And then the other products that I talked about in my May favorites, which is my holy grail, every single day use eyeshadow palette. This is the Viseart Neutral Matte #1 eyeshadow palette. If you guys go back in my videos from May onwards in 2015 and check in the what I'm wearing description box, once again, 9 times out of 10, you will see that Kat Von D contour palette, but you will also see this shadow palette because it is holy grail. And I completely understand that $80 for an eyeshadow palette that's this size does sound completely absurd, but I will tell you, this is the best matte eyeshadow palette I've ever used. I have tried to compare it to my Sonia Kashuk one that you can get from Target for like 20 bucks. I will be perfectly honest, the Sonia Kashuk one is pretty good, but that is like, that's like Barbie's dream house, and this is like an actual mansion. When I show you guys up close, you guys will probably see the wear I've gotten out of it. Now keep in mind that this product is expensive, but in this palette you are getting double what you would get in any other traditional eyeshadow palette like the Urban Decay Naked palette or something. So the amount of product you get in each of these pans is a lot. And especially when it's a product like this that I literally use every single time I apply makeup. it's nice that it's a bigger size, so I don't have to worry about replacing it anytime soon, even though I use it day to day. Moving into the month of June, there is a product that I talked about as a favorite that now I really don't think is worth the hype. These are the Surratt powder blushes. Now, don't get me wrong, these products are very expensive and the quality of them is very, very good. Don't get me wrong, but they're so expensive. It's like over $30 per eyeshadow pan, plus almost $20 for this case. So you guys can just do the math and think that I spent over $100 for just this little palette, and it's not worth the hype. Honestly, I don't like this formula any more than I like my H&M powder blushes, which are 10 bucks a piece, or even my MAC blushes, or the new Too Faced Love Flush blushes, or of course my Tarte Amazonian Clay blushes. Those are all absolutely amazing blushes. I think there's just so much competition in the world of blush formulas that a $30 blush for a teeny tiny little pan, it just can't compete. I just don't think it can compete. Now for a product I mentioned in the month of June that I feel like I need to use more. These are amazing, but I don't reach for them that much. And these are the Maybelline Color Blur lip pencils, or like the jumbo cream lip pencil things. They're like the retractable ones. I love these. I did a full review video and lip swatch video on this entire line, which, as I said, all of those videos will be in the description box below, but I don't tend to reach for these anymore. I don't really know why. I think the reason is that I'm really, really into the matte liquid lipstick phase. I've just been reaching for all of my matte liquid lipsticks, that all of these jumbo pencils, which was kind of like last year's trend, or I guess like 2014 trend. The jumbo lip pencils, I just haven't been reaching for as much. And I need to pull these out again because they're awesome. They really are awesome. But with that being said, there are a couple of products that I mentioned in my June favorites that still to this day I love and use all the time. Firstly, the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerized Cream Shadows. These are awesome, especially for that one shadow look, that just sweep on and go shadow look. I will say these aren't the longest lasting cream shadows I've ever used. These will crease on me, especially if I don't apply a primer under and or put a translucent powder on top. So they are a little bit high maintenance for a cream shadow, but the colors are amazing. Another product that just hit it out of the park, I mentioned it in my June favorites, the CoverGirl Supersizer Mascara. This is like the best thing ever. It's one of my favorite CoverGirl mascaras, and the brush is very, very unique, but it gives you tons of length, nice amount of separation, a little bit of volume. And the other product I mentioned in my June favorites, which once again, go-to product, my Too Faced Born This Way foundation. Now, I had very, very, very little expectations on this product. You guys will know that if you've watched my review video on this. I will say this is probably one of my go-to foundations to wear, especially when I'm filming, because I feel like this foundation just looks so flawless on camera. It definitely isn't the longest lasting foundation on my skin. I would not reach for this if I needed a full day's worth of wear. But if you're wearing it just for a couple of hours or you're on camera, it's beautiful. Moving into the month of July, these are some products that I talked about as my favorites, and I really love them, but I need to use them more. These are the Kat Von D Metal Crush Single Shadows. These things are so beautiful, and the reason I don't use them as much as I think I should is because these are so incredibly metallic-y that this would kind of be that shadow that you need to base an entire look around. It's not really a shadow that you can just kind of throw into a makeup look just haphazardly. Like, you kind of have to plan a look around these shadows because they're so pigmented and so buttery and metallic, and they definitely make a statement. The shade I was holding up is Synergy. It's such a beautiful bronze color, but this one is probably my favorite one in the entire line. This is Raw Power. It's amazing. Now for a couple products I mentioned in July that to this day I use all the time. First off, we have the Buxom Eyeshadow Bar Eyeshadow Formula. These are amazing. I just dropped the applicator on the floor. That's okay. I love this formula. Super, super blendable, creamy, pigmented. The matte shades are amazing. The shimmery, shiny, metallic shades are amazing. This is my own customized eyeshadow palette. And if you guys have seen my review video that I already did on these, I will link it in the description box below for you. But I tell you guys what all the names are in all of my shadow palettes, which I have 6 of them. And actually 7 because I bought their holiday one too. Another product I mentioned in my July favorites, which a lot of these things that I'm about to mention now, I feel like I don't have to go too much into depth because you guys know I love them because I've talked about them so recently. The Milani Amore Matte Lip Creams, these were so uber super hyped, and I know Milani did release new shades of these Amore Matte Lip Creams, and I did already purchase them on the Milani website. I'm just waiting for them to get to me. So once they do get to me, you guys will definitely be seeing another lip swatch review video on the new shades. But these are a couple of the original shades. We have Crush and Romance. I don't think these shades were re-promoted, so I don't really know why I had to tell you the shades. But anyways, I love this formula. It's awesome. Another thing I mentioned in July, which once again, I don't feel like needs any explanation. I'm just gonna kind of say it and move on. Becca's Champagne Pop. I love it. And then wrapping up this roundup with the last favorites video that I did in 2015, which was my August favorites video. Everything I mentioned in that video, I pretty much still just love. But a couple of my standouts that I mentioned in that video. First off, my MAC Pro Longwear Nourishing Foundation. This stuff is the Biznat. It's amazing. It's the best thing ever. I don't know what Biznat is, and I don't know why I said it so confidently, but I love this foundation. I've taken this traveling with me when I went to New York. I took it when I went for Thanksgiving. I took it when I went for the holidays. It literally is the foundation that will last you all day long, and it's the one that looks so natural on the skin. I love it. It's the Biznat. It really is. Another product formulation, which once again, I freaking love, and you guys know that. The Urban Decay Matte Revolution lipstick formula. I did do a full review and lip swatch video on these pretty recently actually. So once again, that video will be linked in the description box. My 2 standout favorites are 1993, which is like the trendiest, best brown color ever. And then of course, I mean, take a horse and just beat it in the face because wow, that was so rude of me. Don't beat your horse. That was incredibly violent of me, but I'm just saying, I've literally beaten this thing to the ground. After Dark. It's the best color ever. And then what better way to round out this roundup than coming full circle and saying that the new formula of the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipsticks are really good. These are really, really good. I did do, once again, a review, a separate review video on the new formula, and I love them. This is Sepia, this one is Paint. They're really good. They really are. They did a good job with the reformulation, and I am very, very happy with the reformulated version. Alrighty guys, that wraps up all of my favorite makeup products in 2015. I wrapped it all up and put a little bow on it, so that's everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and had an amazing new year, and I hope you guys are looking forward to seeing what this year has in store, what the makeup companies have in store for us this year. There's some really exciting things coming from me, and I'm sure there's some amazing stuff coming from some other people. So I cannot wait to see what 2016 has in store for us, and I will talk to you guys very, very soon in my next video on Thursday. I'll see you then. Bye! Meaning that if you are in a zombie apocalypse and you are out of food and you need to eat something, this is all of the stuff that I purchased during my Black Friday Cyber Monday haul, but I know